Okay, so 2 weeks removed from the Royal Rumble, and we begin Raw with Mick Foley. You know, it is great seeing Mick, but hearing him say he thinks he's got one more match left in him makes me kind of go, no, Mick, you haven't had one more match than you before you went to TNA. Just, just saying that. Talk about how you want to be in the Royal Rumble. I could see that, you know. I wouldn't mind seeing Mick in the Royal Rumble. It makes sense, you know. I was picturing, you know, Mick going for the mandible claw on somebody and then releasing it so Santino can get the Cobra on them. You know, I could see moments like that. It'd be pretty decent. We actually joked that he's going to take one spot. He's going to take 3 spots. He'll take one as Dude Love, Mankind, and Cactus Jack. That's a plug for an older Royal Rumble. Ziggler came out, talked about how he sucked and how it's not going to matter. Yada, yada, yada. Segment's really not going anywhere. Punk shows up. You know, decent to see Punk. Punk currently is probably, arguably, the best wrestler, period, that I can think off the top of my head when it comes to being good on the mic and putting on a really solid match. So he kind of saved that promo in the beginning. Laurinaitis comes down and does his typical, you know, stumbling through lines and botching what he's going to say. And says Mick isn't going to be in the Royal Rumble. Sorry, Mick, you're not Rumble bound. No big deal. I mean, you know, happens. And then we get to go to one of our first of 2 title changes. Over the weekend at a house show in Oakland, Air Boom lost to, I guess, Colon 2.0. And all in all, a pretty decent match. I mean, first of 2 title matches. Pretty decent match, you know, decent back and forth. The Colons retained. And then we have to see the injured Zack Ryder take on Swagger. And take 3 gut wrench powerhouse. He took 3 of Swagger's finishes before he got pinned. Before that match, Otunga, or what they call him now, Dave Harvard, gave Laurinaitis an envelope. After the match, Laurinaitis opens it and is like, oh yeah, Ryder, you're medically cleared, you know, my bad. Which then the Eve kind of jumped on his throat and he was like, no, shut your mouth. Respect authority. Okay, not bad. At least it showed Laurinaitis doing something. You know, he's trying to get apart that heel overlord sort of feel to it. That, of course, pissed off Cena, so then Cena just whooped the ever-living crap out of Swagger. I actually enjoyed seeing this, you know, angry, upset John Cena who just steamrolled through Swagger. No, not bad. There was a moment where R-Truth was going down to the ring, which then led to Barrett go down to the ring. Barrett needs to pick a better set of manties. He looked bizarre in the pseudo 2-day-old pea soup green, you know, trunks. He needs something a little better. The gray ones work, but this weird sort of not quite fitting well. You know, like he was smuggling plantains. Came down, that him and R-Truth went back and forth. R-Truth showed photos of his trip to Disneyland, because they're in Anaheim. And it was pretty good, you know. R-Truth, ironically, can be crazy in heel and crazy in face, and he still gets over. Running by The Miz, saved by Sheamus. So you probably think what I'm thinking. It's a tag match now. No, over the top rope challenge, which R-Truth won. Okay, not bad. Now we hit a tremendous low point of the night. Perez Hilton, for some reason, was guest ring announcer for a Divas tag match. So, still no Jonah Hill, who was, you know, talked about a couple months ago. But so we get Perez Hilton for some crazy reason talking about the Divas match. I don't care. And it was Kelly Kelly and the non-Kelly Kelly, non-Eve girl taking on the Bella Twins and their horrendous outfits, and the Kelly Kelly Alicia Botch. They picked up the win. Didn't really care Perez Hilton then got yelled at by the Bellas. Didn't really care, and then Kelly and Alicia helped fend off the Bellas again. Really didn't care. It just the Divas they just seemed to be going really well last year, even with Karma and with everything else going on. And now this year it's horrible, absolutely horrible. You know, Alicia Fox is not great in the ring. Kelly, while she's made lots of improvements, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're cute. Yeah, you're perky. You are not a wrestler at all. Sorry, you're just not. Then we get to get to the main event match, which initially was a tag match with Punk and Bryan, awesome tag team, taking on Ziggler and Henry. But then they added Jericho, so it was Jericho, Punk, Bryan against Henry Otunga? So I guess is Otunga and Jericho feuding? I have no idea why Otunga's involved in this match at all. So you know, good back and forth with Bryan, with Punk. So they finally tag in Jericho. Jericho just goes nuts, runs back and forth, and then leaves. Tags Bryan and leaves. So then leaves Bryan and Punk in a handicap match. Not really. One of the opponents is Otunga, so not really a handicap match. Bryan and Henry end up kind of, you know, leaving the, such as Bryan being chased down by Henry, taking some pretty nice bumps, which then leads to Foley coming down. So then Foley gets tagged in by Punk, which helps Foley beat Otunga. Laurinaitis comes out and is like, no, Foley was never involved in the match. This isn't the way this is going to happen. Punk then gets on the mic and absolutely eviscerates Laurinaitis again. Calls him pathetic, says he's done more in this past year than Laurinaitis done his whole career. Just tears him apart. The sad thing with the Laurinaitis-Punk feud is Punk is essentially having to get Laurinaitis over, having to keep himself over, having to get the feud over. It's like he's doing everything. You might as well put Punk in there with a broom and have him get the broom over. And it's not until, you know, Foley finally jibes Laurinaitis and he's like, yes, I'm going to screw him at the Royal Rumble. I'm tired of being disrespected. And then, of course, he nails Foley with the microphone. This is good. And I'm sitting there with my buddy and I was like, dude, you know what I really miss? I wish McMahon was like 4 years younger. Because I think McMahon and Punk would have been so much better than Laurinaitis and Punk. You know, I think if Johnny Ace turns it up a notch, maybe this become interesting. Maybe. But he's got to really kick it up a notch. Because right now it's just kind of dull to watch. Those two. It's just Punk. It's Punk carving Laurinaitis like he is a Thanksgiving Day turkey or a Christmas ham. So all now, you know, oh, I forgot. Duh. Brodus Clay destroyed JTG. And then they did the most horrifying thing ever. They actually showed Brodus Clay doing this in slow motion. So you saw like the thigh fat going to the lower back fat, going to like the mid back, going to the upper back, going to like the sausage neck. You know. And I was like, you do not show a man of Brodus's build jiggling in slow motion. You just don't. No, if you wouldn't do it with Big Daddy V, can't do it with Brodus Clay.